Breath of the Wild is a game that is universally praised for its courage in redefining the potential for the Legend of Zelda series. At that point, the biggest Zelda worlds we really knew came from games like The Wind Waker. But when Breath of the Wild was introduced, its change to the usual Zelda formula didn't just change the world design of the game, but in turn also affected the dungeon design, the progression parameters, collectibles, and so much more. Everyone has their own opinion of these changes, but regardless of your thoughts on it, Breath of the Wild was an entry point for so many new Zelda fans, so I'll always be grateful for that. Well, that, and I don't want to come off as some Zelda boomer who can't stop complaining that the new games suck compared to the old ones. But instead, I want to take in consideration everything the Zelda series has ever done, and I want to make a collection, or a list if you will, of everything Breath of the Wild 2 needs in order to be as perfect as possible. Oh, and if you find yourself enjoying this video, subscribing will let me know you want more Zelda content like this. Alright, let's get started. Oh, and saying this now, this script was originally started back in December of 2020, and now that yesterday, as of typing this, we got a brand new trailer for Breath of the Wild 2 after 2 long years of zero news. I decided to rework some of the ideas I had because some of the things I wanted to happen were seemingly present in that new trailer, such as wanting a second overworld in the game, preferably going to the sky, taking inspiration from Skyloft in Skyward Sword. But with that, now let's do this. One thing that needs to be included is on the topic of durability. Now that this game has been out for years now, I think it's pretty obvious this is one of the most mixed aspects of that game. Many hate the whole barely use a weapon and poof it's broken aspect of the game. Personally, I only found it problematic towards the beginning. After a few hours though, you kinda have to realize the game litters weapons all over the place. So even if the one breaks, there's likely another one nearby, you just have to look. It may not be the same kind, but that's what the game was going for. Combat that inspires on-the-fly thinking. You kinda can't rush in there the same way now that your sword just broke, and now you have to pick up a nearby claymore and take things a bit slower. But personally, I don't think durability should leave, but it needs to be worked like this. 1. Increase the durability of all weapons. They break far too easily, and just when you get a feel for one, it breaks. So the best quality of life fix needed alongside greater durability should be a durability meter, so that way we can monitor the durability of each individual weapon. Something small with the meter just being below the icon of the weapon. Something like this may not seem like much, but it'll aid you in how you approach fights when you know how close each weapon is from breaking. Another big thing I felt was missing from Breath of the Wild that I don't hear brought up enough was magic, which is a big staple for the series. I know Breath of the Wild was all about breaking those staples apart, but I think Breath of the Wild could have been better if it did include magic, and not just in the way it's been used in the past, but reinventing that staple. They did something similar with dungeons, so magic just being omitted feels odd. And I'm not going to classify the champion abilities as magic because they're just too different and deserve to be their own concept entirely. Magic seems to be something they want to bring back in some way, if that's what we even want to call it, but adding on to this part of the script since the new trailer, I definitely see them utilizing Link's new spirit arm, cool name I know, in ways that can totally reinvent how magic can be used. We see him using some kind of fire magic with his arm in the trailer too, and I'm wondering if it ends up happening like this. Say they get too close to the Ganon corpse and the Malice was able to start infecting Link, which reflects what we saw in that trailer. And then the spirit that was seemingly keeping the Ganon from fully dying saves Link by replacing his old infected arm with a replica made from its spirit energy, giving Link new abilities he couldn't use before, such as diving through mountains and utilizing magic from the environment around him. There's more I can go into with this, but I have another video coming solely on how to perfect the combat for Breath of the Wild 2. Make sure you have your notifications on for that one incoming. But all in all for this video, being able to use magic to have new ways to explore all aspects of our multiple overworlds, new ways to explore combat encounters, and new ways to solve puzzles sounds like one of the best ideas Nintendo can do. Now this is a pretty obvious one, but bringing back tool-based key items is something that we desperately need in Breath of the Wild 2, and there's tons of reasons for it. Breath of the Wild was 100% fine without it. In fact, it's part of what makes the game unique. But again, I don't think removing content and designing the world to not need them is the best way to go about it. It absolutely works, but I think with a game as huge as Breath of the Wild, tools could easily make this already amazing world to explore even more so. I'd like to see returning items such as the beetle from Skyward Sword. It's a great mechanic for puzzle solving, just shooting the little guy out and controlling him to reach places that you never could. I also want to see the hook shots return. Call me simple, but man, just using dual hook shots from tree to tree or scaling up large mountains with it by hookshotting onto structures planted there. But the more I think about it, I want a new instrument the most. They're not strangers to this series after all, and with a game like this, I could see a ton of ways they could use it. It'd have to be something easily playable on the go, and I'd rather it be something we haven't actually used before, but at this point, it's kinda hard to choose when you're just merely a listener of music and not really aficionado of the brand, but within the series, there's one instrument that Link has never personally played, and that's the violin. It's small, easy to carry around, and can produce some of the most beautiful kinds of music in the world, and is my personal favorite instrument. The magic songs played on it can produce different effects. Say it can even affect gameplay such as controlling day-night cycles, the weather, slow, stop, or speed up time. These are all things that songs have been able to do in the past, but using it in Breath of the Wild, everyone has to admit, it would kinda hit different. Maybe it can play songs that react to Link's arm and can allow him to perform actions he couldn't without those songs. After learning a new song, Link would play it and his arm would start reacting to it, and it would unlock a new kind of transformation for it, which can in turn be used as tools to solve puzzles around the world or even in dungeons. This wouldn't be too far-fetched, as Nintendo has concept art of this exact thing for Breath of the Wild 1 once upon a time, so seeing it fully realized would be pretty cool. This is one I knew everyone was gonna expect, but it's true. I don't care if Breath of the Wild is your favorite game, most can admit the Divine Beasts are a freaking awesome concept, but when looking back in retrospect, they're pretty stale, alongside offering little to no challenge and having very little variety in them. I understand why this was done. They weren't sure what order you do them in, how many you do, or even any of them at all. But I think when doing this, they made them all way too similar to where Breath of the Wild's uniqueness didn't shine through enough. Divine Beasts obviously won't return as dungeons, so with the next dungeons they add for the game, make them extremely unique like series past, and they should still be optional. I know Nintendo is scared that people will miss out on content and intricacy, but one, that's a given when you make open world games. Things go unnoticed and never seen to some players. That just happens. The uniqueness of each dungeon will end up as a reason for me to want to do it. Most players will do at least one. Whichever they decide to do though, if it ends up being a real banger, then they'll definitely feel the desire to check out the others. They'll need to be able to be played in any order, so the old concept of getting an item and using it to beat the dungeon needs to be reworked slightly. You need to be able to beat the dungeon using anything you've gathered so far, while at the same time also being able to explore parts of it only because you got other items beforehand. This isn't anything new, but this adds replay value to a game you haven't even beaten yet. Say while I'm playing the dungeon, I make it to the end, get a cool item, beat the boss, and just before I leave, I check my map and remember how I saw a door leading to another path that I never got to check out. The compass says there's a chest in there too, so I go back a couple rooms to check it out, but none of my items seem to be able to open up the path. Then I notice a sign near the door with a riddle hinting about something that's needed to see the truth to find the way. Later on, when exploring the world, I find inside a cave that was protected by redeads, a chest that held within it a mirror that claims to see the truth. Now when I use it, I can see whole buildings and pathways around the world I never saw before. Then I remember the riddle I was given just a few hours ago. I decide to head back and see that the mirror works, and I was able to get a song sheet that gives a new song that I can utilize to reach even more places I couldn't get to before around the world. This is just one way they can rework how these old Zelda philosophies work, but in a Breath of the Wild style. Now another thing, Breath of the Wild desperately needed more variety in its enemies. The ones chosen worked and worked well, but with the huge amount of enemies Link has had to face over the lifetimes he's adventured the world, I think now more than ever it's a time to breathe new life into this world by adding tons of new kinds of threats, just waiting to combat Link. Ones I'd love to see are big Skulltulas. Just imagine them crawling towards you all fast and swiping at you or spitting web towards you. You can combat them differently than in the past too. Say this time you have to try to flip them onto their backs to stab into their stomachs to beat them. It's different because they usually lure prey in without hunting them, so this time it puts a neat spin on a classic enemy. I'd also love to see Dark Nuts as well. Fighting this dangerous enemy would be difficult, but you'd have to either try your best to counter them with our new spirit magic, or use speed against them and knock them down before they overpower you. Now that I think about it though, Moldorms coming back as a regular enemy would be so freaking cool in Breath of the Wild. I know there are many versions, but just imagine fighting this giant caterpillar-like enemy in a 3D style. Man, that'd be so cool in an awesome game like Breath of the Wild. I also think Gyarados would be really neat too, only showing up in dark places or at night. That way we'd see more enemy variety regardless of the time of day. These are just a few ideas I had for classic enemies returning, but combating them in ways that would be new, thanks for being a Breath of the Wild sequel. There's still a ton more that can be added, especially ones that have never been seen in 3D, but I also want totally new enemies added to the world of Zelda, mainly because I feel Breath of the Wild is a game that deserves more enemies deriving from it than just borrowing from other games. I know I mentioned it earlier, but that world in the sky is something I want to be able to truly explore. Breath of the Wild has a phenomenally well-designed world, and being able to see that world we've explored for hundreds of hours in a brand new angle is exactly what I think a perfect Breath of the Wild sequel needs. Though as happy as I am with that new area to explore, I can't help but think there's somewhere else we should be going, especially after that new trailer. And that place is the catacombs beneath Hyrule Castle. We saw Zelda fall into them during that new trailer while the mummified corpse of a presumably old Ganondorf awakens. Though I have no doubt he's another threat Link can handle, this is a job for both Link and Zelda. Link's primary objective should be chasing after Zelda, but something tells me that there's more than just darkness and dirt down there. Why is there so much emptiness beneath the castle? Why are there catacombs? Is it simply because this is where the royal family buries their passed on family members? Even then, things don't add up. I have a feeling that the skies of Hyrule isn't the only place we'll explore, but beneath Hyrule too, making it an even bigger game than the first one, and having 3 overworlds would be a first for the series entirely. Usually the most we'd have is 2, but going the extra mile here would make it a step up from the first game in a way we didn't think they could pull off, especially with that major time of, having no news about it. So being able to go back and forth from the sky, free falling to the surface, then diving beneath the ground to an underground world full of the royal family's most hidden secrets. Ocarina of Time already planted seeds of darkness surrounding the hidden agenda of the royal family of Hyrule. They have a whole tomb being guarded by the living dead who are still obviously sentient. So being able to explore the vast underground world beneath Hyrule, seeing who lives there, the secrets to uncover, all of it just sounds so wonderful. But yeah, I think this is about all I wanted to add for now. I try to replay 3 to 4 Zelda games each year, so as I go through them, I do constantly come up with new ideas, so I'll be sure to jot them down. And maybe we can return to this topic with even more cool ideas. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, drop me a like. I love Zelda, so seeing a Zelda video do well on this channel would really mean everything to me. And subscribe if you want to hear even more of the cool Zelda ideas I've got, because I've got a lot of them. Thanks for watching. My name is KingdomAce, and remember my words of courage to stay strong, stay beautiful, and always look skyward.